Welcome back to Football Daily. Today we bring you our all-time 11 of footballers who have played under the all-conquering Pep Guardiola. Goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer. Starting between the sticks, we have the ultimate sweeper keeper. When Pep Guardiola arrived at the Allianz Arena in 2013, he inherited a squad of world beaters. But most importantly, he had a goalkeeper ready-made for his style of play. The German stopper's exceptional distribution accuracy and ability to read the game made it easy for the Catalan coach to mould him into a footballer who could act as an 11th outfield player, sweeping up opposition threats and launching counter-attacks at will. It was something that would then become crucial to Germany's success at the 2014 World Cup. Importantly though, Neuer also happens to be one of the best shot stoppers of recent times, not something you could say about Claudio Bravo. In his first season under Guardiola, Neuer let in just 20 goals in 31 league appearances, keeping 15 clean sheets as Bayern wrapped up the title with 7 games remaining, a Bundesliga record. And in the manager's final campaign, the club let in just 17 goals, setting yet another record. Defender, Dani Alves. When Pep Guardiola took over the Barcelona job in 2008, he instantly recognised the need for change. Out went the likes of Ronaldinho, Deco and Gianluca Zambrotta. However, one of the players brought in was Dani Alves. And the Brazilian right-back was a roaring success from the get-go, scoring 5 league goals in his first season as the Blaugrana stormed to a historic treble. And he dominated the right flank for the duration of Guardiola's reign at the Nou Camp. By 2014, it was commonly known that Alves had more career assists than Zinedine Zidane. Yes, you heard that correctly, and the majority of those came under Pep's stewardship. In 2017, while Manchester City were having problems with their fullback positions, reports emerged that Guardiola was interested in bringing Alves to the Etihad Stadium. Given his record, it's hardly surprising. Defender, Carlos Puyol. Next up, we have a player who was already the finished product when Pep Guardiola got a hold of him. Carlos Puyol also happens to be the only player in this team to have played with Pep as a player, as he broke into the Barca first team during Guardiola's final 2 seasons as club captain. By the time he returned as a manager, Puyol was well established as the team's on-pitch leader, and one of the first things he did was elect Xavi, Valdez and Iniesta to back him up as vice-captains, establishing a strong Catalan power base within the side. The man known as the Wall repaid the manager's faith, leading the club to its ridiculous 14 trophies during Pep's 4-year reign. Although Puyol's league minutes diminished as he grew into his 30s, the shaggy-haired defender was practically ever present in Europe, as the club secured 2 Champions Leagues in 3 seasons. Defender, Gerard Piqué. Like Dani Alves, Gerard Piqué was brought in almost as soon as Guardiola stepped through the door at the Camp Nou, and he was gradually transformed into one of the greatest ball-playing centre-backs of his generation. Having come through at La Masia, and then learning from the likes of Rio Ferdinand during his spell at Manchester United, Piqué was primed for Guardiola's stewardship. 1 season on from winning the Champions League with United in 2008, the towering centre-half was one of the key performers as Barca limited the Red Devils to 2 shots on target in the final in Rome. With Guardiola's meticulous focus on possession and attacking, Piqué provided the side with balance, a rock at the back who could also bomb forward when needed. The defender scored 13 goals during Pep's tenure and has contributed even more since. Furthermore, he has become Barca's resident troll in recent years, goading Real Madrid players and fans whenever possible, solidifying his relationship with the Culés. One of Pep's first acquisitions turned to be one of his most effective. Defender, Philipp Lahm. In at left back, we have a player who very rarely played there under Guardiola, but we had to fit him in somewhere, so you'll have to deal with it. The second captain in R11, Philipp Lahm had been the Bayern skipper for 2 years when the manager arrived in 2013, and the pair instantly hit it off. Pep clearly saw a lot of himself in Lahm's game, and expertly converted the fullback into a defensive midfielder. At the time, he said, "Philipp Lahm is perhaps the most intelligent player I've ever trained in my career. He's at another level." This is quite something, considering he's worked with the likes of Xavi and Iniesta. Upon Lahm's retirement in 2017, Pep spoke of his sadness and went as far to say that the former Bayern captain was a special person in my life. As well as performing exceptionally on the pitch and leading the Bavarians to 3 consecutive titles, Lahm also helped the Catalan coach to settle in at Munich on his arrival, and the pair remained good friends away from the field. Midfielder, Sergio Busquets. Now it really couldn't be a Guardiola team without this man. Pep's Barcelona teams may have been full of superstars from front to back, but Sergio Busquets was the man who made them tick with his exceptional ability to win back possession and kick off attacks with his phenomenal passing. And the pair also shared a journey together. Busquets was promoted from La Masia to Barcelona's B team in 2007 after Guardiola's appointment as coach, and he became integral to the side's heroic promotion from the Spanish fourth tier that season. When Guardiola made that jump to the first team the following season, Busquets stayed put initially, but was quickly promoted again by his mentor after 2 games. Clearly, he was a part of Pep's Barca vision. Just 10 months later, Busquets started in the victorious Champions League final against Manchester United, and the following year became a world champion with Spain. Not bad for a lad who was playing regional football just 2 years earlier. Midfielder, Thiago Alcântara. The first of our creatives in this midfield trio, Thiago Alcântara moved from the Nou Camp to the Allianz Arena to join Guardiola in 2013. The Spanish maestro broke into the Barca first team during Pep's final 2 years in Catalonia and quickly established himself as one of the world's hottest young prospects. But following his move to Bavaria, he struggled to get game time as he was plagued by knee injuries. But Thiago finally got over his ordeal in Guardiola's last season at the Allianz, becoming the team's chief playmaker as they stormed to a league and cup double and the Champions League semi-finals. Since the manager left, he has carried on his exceptional form, and funnily enough, Barca could probably do with his services. Midfielder, Andrés Iniesta. Next up, we have possibly one of the greatest footballers to have graced the field. While studying at La Masia, Andrés Iniesta was quickly viewed as a unique talent, and after making the step up to the big boys in 2002, slowly established himself as a first-team regular. Under Frank Rijkaard, Iniesta was almost ever present, but his unassuming demeanour was overshadowed on and off the pitch by the egos of Ronaldinho, Deco and Samuel Eto'o. That all changed under Pep, who had closely followed Iniesta's progress from youth level to the first team. The midfield magician was quickly given a more prominent role under the new coach, and Pep's methods turned a hugely talented player into a marauding world beater. As effective cutting in from the left wing as he was dictating play from the midfield, Iniesta became the full package and was a menace to defences for the duration of Guardiola's reign and beyond. He gives you so many solutions for when you are then in the middle of a game, Iniesta later said of Pep, and nearly all of them turn out to be the right solutions when you apply them. Forward, Thomas Müller. Back to Bayern now, and perhaps the key man in Pep's forward line at the Allianz, a footballer who is equally effective scoring as he is creating. Thomas Müller is any manager's dream, and his versatility was tailor-made for Guardiola's fluid system. Müller's numbers were already pretty outstanding before Pep arrived in Bavaria, but during the Catalans' tenure as coach, he reached his prime, scoring 20+ goals in each of the 3 seasons he was in charge. In Pep's final term, he notched up a career high of 32. Pretty remarkable given that Robert Lewandowski occupied the centre-forward's position all season, and also grabbed 12 assists, establishing himself as one of the 21st century's great all-rounders. Forward, Lionel Messi. And now for the man you've all been waiting for. No, not Ibrahim Afellay, of course, it's the one and only Leo Messi. The man who was so good he made Pep stick Zlatan Ibrahimovic out on the wing. Argentine demigod Messi was still very much a kid when Guardiola took the reins at the Nou Camp. But after just 1 season under the manager's mentorship, Messi was already starting to live up to his next Maradona tag, as he formed a devastating connection with Thierry Henry and Samuel Eto'o during the club's historic treble season. He went from strength to strength, outscoring himself season on season, and by Guardiola's final campaign, the Blaugrana had turned into a one-man team, with Messi getting a whopping 73 goals in 60 games. How he managed that, we will never know. The pair formed a close working relationship during those years, and such was Messi's power on and off the field by the end, that many regarded Guardiola's decision to leave the club as an attempt to limit the damage of their alliance. Forward, Pedro. We had a bit of trouble with our final position. We can already hear the screams for Iron Robin and David Villa, but it's impossible to look past this little man. Like Sergio Busquets, Pedro made his name in Pep's Barcelona B team, making 37 appearances and scoring 7 en route to promotion. During that time, he was given his debut by Frank Rijkaard in the first team, but would not properly break into the side for another 18 months. Once he did though, he was lethal. As the club transitioned the legendary Thierry Henry out of the side, Pedro more than compensated, hitting 23 goals from the wing in his first proper season. He added another 35 over the final 2 seasons of Guardiola's rule, as the Blaugrana turned from the best team in the world to one of the greatest footballing juggernauts ever seen. The opening goal in the 2011 Champions League final was undoubtedly Pedro's highlight, as he ripped open a defence containing Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic and Patrice Evra in their prime. Undoubtedly one of Pep Guardiola's biggest success stories.
So we hope you enjoyed that, and if you want to check out more of our videos, then click here on screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe and get on our Snapchat and our Twitter.